Good morning, friends. So, we are kicking off another week with a Mindful Monday. And I wanted to take a minute to thank everybody for all of the emails and DMs that I've been getting about how important this has been to everyone. So, I really appreciate that. That's what keeps me getting up and recording these and writing all of the blog posts and getting the information out to you guys. So I appreciate the feedback. It's really helpful. And even the ones that maybe feel not so positive when you're writing them, like little tips of how I can improve to make it more accessible to you, I really appreciate those as well. Which kind of leads into this week's Mindful Monday. One of the emails that I received I found really interesting, and it was an ask for a topic. So I wanted to make sure that I honored that. And I also wanted to clear up some things that were written in it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read it to you. Most of it, there was parts that were personal, so I didn't want to share that with you. But I do want to share the main body of it. So here goes. Dear Alicia, I love what you guys are doing with the new daily conversations and tips. I especially look forward to Mindful Mondays. Since March, I have been riddled with anxiety. It has been greatly compounded by the feelings of loneliness and isolation. My need to hug my friends and family is overwhelming at times. I was wondering if you could share a tip on how you stay so optimistic. I know your life recently has been way above and beyond the average person's stress, which for me has been unbearable. But you continue to show up with a smile. Is this real? What is your secret? Okay, so let me clear something up. Yes, my life is extremely stressful, and that's going to be a topic for another day. We'll talk about the things that I have been facing because I think it's important to share with you guys. However, I am not always optimistic and showing up with a smile. Those closest to me know that I have my days just like all of you. But I'm going to share some tips. I do think that maybe my way of processing things is extremely helpful so I don't get stuck. It's the getting stuck part or using unhealthy coping mechanisms that can trip us up and help us down the wrong path. So I will share some of the things that I do because I do think that there's some takeaways when I was reflecting on this and thinking about what it is that I do differently that maybe I can share with all of you to help you through this. There were some things that came out. So the first thing is really allowing myself to feel and sit in the complete suckiness of a moment, right? Like when you're having a really bad day, I mean, first put it in perspective. Did you spill your coffee and is that setting you off? Well, re-examine what's actually setting you off, right? So putting things in perspective first, but sometimes there are things that just really suck. Like the fact that you can't hug your friends and family right now when you probably need it most really sucks. So allow yourself to feel that. Don't deny that. Don't tell yourself to get over it. A lot of us will push that aside, but to really work through that feeling and allow it to be there is really important in order to be able to move past it. Otherwise, you're just stuffing it away for another time to deal with, and it's going to compound, or you're going to be using unhealthy coping mechanisms. Maybe you're having a few too many glasses of wine to kind of forget those bad feelings. So allow yourself and know that you can feel really bad, really have really, really crappy days, and know that you will get through it and that there will be good days again. So acknowledging that too. Look at your past history. There have been a lot of really bad days and there have been a lot of really good days. So keep it in perspective. Don't allow the negative feelings to take up residence and stay. So watch them pass through, work through them, allow yourself to feel them, but do not allow them to stay. They are not a permanent guest. And then I move into it. Part of not allowing them to stay is having practices that help you put things in perspective, right? So I really practice gratitude. So when I was trying to look at this and figure out what exactly it is that I do different that allows me to show up with a smile, it's gratitude. I honestly, and this is a skill that I think I've worked to hone, not consciously. I've just done it maybe as a survival mechanism, but feeling grateful even for the smallest things, the littlest things. If you can truly feel grateful for them, like um, I'm a runner, so when I'm going for a run, even when I'm feeling like it's not my best run, I'm really struggling, those are the times that I really try to focus on, wow, how fortunate am I that at my age, my body is still able to do this. I'm still running on trails and up mountains and on, through the rocks and with all the roots. And my body is still carrying me through this and allowing me to have this pleasure that I love so much. And, while I'm out there listening to the birds and seeing all the animals and the trees and actually practicing deep gratitude for all of those things. And when I'm feeling like I just want to give my friends a hug, instead of getting stuck in that, yes, I will feel it and feel sad that I can't do that right now, but then reframe it as to, gosh, I am so grateful that I have so many incredible people in my life that I have the ability to miss. So it's reframing that, and maybe finding another way to give them that hug. Maybe it's not a physical hug, but writing them a letter in a card, sending them a card, telling them how much I think of them and miss them and can't wait to hug them again. Little things like that are going to make you feel so much better. It's really just about switching that perspective so that you can find the good in every moment and be really deeply grateful for it. So some of you who have received emails from me or read my blog posts, I do sign off with love and gratitude, and that's not just my signature sign off that I just chose willy-nilly. It is very meaningful to me. Like I truly am so grateful that I get up and do the things that I love every day and surround myself with some really incredible people, and that I get to share my thoughts and ideas with all of you, and that I am able to answer those emails, right? Like I get emails from you and I'm able to answer them. I'm so grateful for that. So those are my tips. So putting them into practice for this week, because I like to make it a practice that you can apply for a week and try it out and see if it's going to be something that you want to keep. Maybe there'll just be parts of it that you keep. So each day, I think in order to become a habit, you need to carve out a specific time in order to practice it so that it can become a habit. So every morning when you first get up, do a check-in. How are you feeling? Are you afraid about something that you have to face for the day? Are you excited? What are those feelings? Allow those feelings to be there. This can be in the form of a meditation, which is what I do, or it can just be, a quick check-in while you take a shower in the morning, whatever works for you. And then at night, before you go to sleep, some of you have heard about, the gratitude journals. So every single night, writing down 3 things that you're grateful for, even on your worst days. Try to do what I had mentioned earlier in reframing those bad days, because that is going to be your power move, right? So if you can find the worst thing that happened to you and flip it around from a different perspective and find the good in that, that's going to be really powerful in your life. And then thirdly, at the end of the week, I want you to take a look at that gratitude journal and see if there's a person or an event that stands out to you. And I want you to actually take it a step further and send that person a card, write it out to them. Something tangible that they will have in their hand and that you are physically writing out. We don't get anything other than bills in the mail anymore. And I think there's something powerful about opening a piece of mail and having it be good news, and then having it be something that someone can hold onto, right? So you're giving a gift to somebody else to help them through this time. And interestingly enough, by doing that, science shows that, all the research shows that it actually triggers parts of your brain to become happier. So you will become happier in doing that. It releases endorphins, and you feel good regardless of whether or not the person acknowledges that they received it and is grateful for it. Just the act of writing out that gratitude is enough to mitigate any negativity in your mind at that time. And it carries on for days. So it can carry you to the next week when you write your next one. And actually physically writing it out brings clarity to your mind about the things that you are grateful for that person for. And the more we do that, the quicker it becomes. We are wired to focus on the negative as a way of survival. So if we can purposefully shift our brain to focus on the positive, we're going to end up just being much happier. We do need to have some negative bias in our life just to keep us safe and help us make the right decisions. But I do think that we tend to overdo it, and we could really use the practice of shifting, especially right now. So those are the 3 things that I want you to try this week. So 1, check in with yourself. How are you feeling every morning? Allow those feelings to exist. Don't brush them off. Don't tell yourself that you're being ridiculous. Accept them and allow them, and ask them to move on. And secondly, every night, write down 3 things that you're grateful for. And then at the end of the week, choose one thing that really stands out to you and write the person associated with it a letter of gratitude. And I say letter of gratitude instead of a thank you letter, because this shouldn't be a standoffish letter. It should be very personal. Like, really write out exactly what it is that you're grateful for. Don't just say thank you for helping me out with Sammy this week. I appreciate it. Love, Alicia. Don't do that. Write out exactly what it is that you're grateful for. Without your help with Sammy this week, I don't know what I would have done. These were the options that I was facing, and by you stepping in and doing this for me, it did XYZ for me, and it's friends like you who really helped me to keep going, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. Something along those lines. Make it more personal so that the person really has something that boosts them as well, while you are naming those things and training your brain. So those are my tips. And again, I want to reiterate that I do have my moments as well. I am human. So if I come across that I'm not, I do want you guys to remember that I am, and that I have my moments, and this is how I deal with it. And it really does help keep me positive and optimistic. So try it out this week. Let me know what you think, and I will talk to you tomorrow on our Talk to Me Tuesday. All right. Bye, guys.